everyone, welcome to the CEO Speaker Series. I'm Caden Vittorini, the CEO and founder of ItFactor, your host. And today we're joined by Jyot Singh, who is a serial entrepreneur and technologist focusing on turning AI into real ROI. He leads RTS Labs, a world-class AI consultancy, helping companies unlock their data, build agentic AI systems, and scale with confidence. He's also the founder of Fieldless, an AI-powered safety platform improving field safety and incident prevention across high-risk industries. Driven by solving hard problems and pushing what's possible, Jyot advises early-stage startups and is a go-to voice on practical AI adoption and digital transformation. He's a longtime member of YPO and is known for his clear, grounded approach to how humans and AI can work together. Jyot holds a degree in electrical engineering and completed the Goldman Sachs program at Babson. He's passionate about building leaders and shaping how AI transforms businesses for the better. This series is all about asking leaders what they wish they knew when they were in college. Let's dive into it. So Jyot, tell us a little bit about your path from student to CEO, maybe your first job, major career decisions, and just overall leadership milestones.
Yeah. So thank you, Caden, for having me. Super excited to be here and talk about all the mistakes I have made, and hopefully the students who are listening to this this video or this audio, whatever, probably they will learn from that, and we'll do things faster, better, and much less painful than how I've gone. So the journey from being a student to a CEO is never a straight line. I think that's the first thing I will tell you. When I was in college, I think getting a what I call a stable job was my dream and my parents' dream growing up in India. You have two choices: either you're an engineer or a doctor, and there is nothing in between. That was I don't know, 20, 30 years ago. So I chose the first one, being an engineer, because I couldn't see blood. So that is what forced me to be an engineer. Went to a good college, and at that point, now we have so much awareness around entrepreneurship. You see, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and many other successful entrepreneurs, and you get inspired by that. That was nothing like that. Just getting a job would be considered like a stable job would be considered luxury, for lack of a better term. So anyway, so never in my mind I would have thought that this is what the plan would be, but many dots connect, some good, some not so good, that will lead to a path that we call is entrepreneurship, right? And when you're on that journey with entrepreneurship as well, there are technically three paths to be a CEO. Either you can be a hired gun, companies that will hire you because of your credentials. Second is that you're in a family business, and the third one is when you start something, right? I didn't know any of these three, and I fell into being into entrepreneurship, and that is what led to be the CEO of two companies that you just described.
That's awesome. And so, what's a myth you believed in college, and what was that actual reality?
Oh God, college. When you look back, we get inspired by success of entrepreneurs and business leaders and so on and so forth, and we only see the shiny side of their story, right? All the numerous failures that they have, we don't see that, right? So if I look back, I always thought just getting good grades would be good enough. That was a huge myth. I feel that surrounding yourself with incredible people. If you're in college, if I go back and being myself being 20-year, 15-year-old, whatever, I would find amazing friends who are better than me, and I will rather spend time not focusing on grades only, but focusing on building deep relationships with them, because they are going to go to good positions, and right, that network will come in handy, right? I always jokingly said to my kids, network is your net worth. and the best way to do this, even if you are introvert, and by the way, I can talk about introvert and extrovert for many hours. I think that is wrong. And anyone can be trained to do whatever they want. I'm an introvert, but when I'm on stage or I'm publicly speaking, I'm extrovert. So you can change your roles based on muscle memory. So in my mind, I see if I'm 15-year-old, 10 or 20-year-old, I'm in college or whatnot. If I have to do one thing and one thing really well, find people who are smarter than me, people who are who can teach me, can uplift me. That is the folks that I will network with. And there's a beautiful thing called as LinkedIn. I'll reach out to random people, right? Build that muscle memory of reaching out and asking them for being a mentor. I wish LinkedIn existed at that point because I think I would have maximized that. Relationships, you'll be surprised how much relationships matter. Another thing that I will add is relationships matter only when you show up. So actions, being smart, being present, being supportive, all those things also make you a good individual as well.
Yeah. Your network's everything, right? You become the average, the 5 friends you spend the most time around. So,
exactly.
On yourself with college, right? That's going to rub off on you in a positive or negative way. And, I know what it's like. It's, a lot of my opportunities to success has come from who I know, right? Absolutely. So, thinking back to your early career, what's one major obstacle that you faced and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, I think the self-belief is one thing that I will say was my number one obstacle. I didn't know what I was capable of. And that's why, again, going back to relationships is so important, surrounding yourself with like amazing people who uplift you. Because if I'm surrounding myself with negative people, as you know, your salary will be average of the sum of those, right? Yes. And by the way, I'm not just purely focused on salary meaning success in life and in future adventures, right? So if I look back, the irony of I have a lot of stories to tell you on this one because this is a very interesting topic and it's very dear to me. So if I look at the mentors I've found, right? Every 5-7 years, you have to recycle them, right? Some people will grow with you, some people will not, right? Same applies to your friends. Some people will grow with you and some people will not. Yeah. And as I think the research says, I think it's 7 years. If you are growing, if you're not growing and you're bringing your group down, then there's not a whole lot anyone can do, right? So I feel that is what I felt is important. Sorry, I missed the original question. I got caught up in the things, but what was the original question agagan?
Yeah, the original question was, what was one major obstacle that you faced early in your career?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
And I think I got carried on the story. So self-belief would be my obstacle. And if you surround yourself with people who believe in you, your self-belief multiplies, right? And you, when you're in college and school and whatnot, you don't know what you're truly capable of until you start pushing yourself, right? And the way I see this is a step function. You push yourself and you get to a point and it gets uncomfortable, right? You push yourself, that gets comfortable, and then something else gets uncomfortable. So that step ladder is what I wish I knew before. That would not have been an obstacle because I didn't know what I was capable of, right? Yeah. Until I was thrown into that challenge, and then I was able to do this. And then you push, and that becomes a muscle memory. You keep challenging yourself at each obstacle. It's kind of like a video game, Got level 1, yeah. And when you're starting, you don't know, you could go to level 100, right? And it's like, oh my God, how did I reach to level 100?
Yeah. You gotta go through each level, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I love, self-belief is so important, right? That's the starting point. You have to believe in your potential. You got to believe it's possible. And, personal growth, professional success, they go hand in hand, but it starts with how your confidence and believing it's possible. So, was there a specific moment or decision that dramatically changed your career path?
Not one. I think if I have to go back, there were series of connections, a series of things that trigger to where I am. So if I have to advise, people who are, in college and others, who are younger, I would say always reflect back on things that have happened, right?
Yeah.
Good or bad. And it always helps you connect the dots 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now, right? So I think those are the things I would say are the most important.
And what do you feel like the biggest challenges students face today? Like, give me one challenge that you feel like students face today, and then what would be your advice for navigating that?
Yeah, the challenges are real. And I have two kids and two teenagers, and I see that in their day to day. Because I feel because of social media and all the noise around everything, you might get flustered or scared or distracted with so much information being thrown all at once. And especially when you are early in stage, you get an advice, hey, you should drink coffee. Well, coffee is good for you. Next day, you're like, no, you should drink, some energy drink. And again, as an example, and it gets so confusing and it gets so noisy. So how do you filter in an always on type of world? What is noise and what is signal, right? And I think I empathize with students and kids these days. There's a lot of pressure. They're expected to do everything.
Right.
They're expected to be doing soccer and being a robotics engineer and chemical engineer and an artist and piano expert. Like you can't do great in each and everything, right? You have to say no to some. And as a kid, it's very, very hard to do, right? And also bombarded with, all these ads and social media pressure. And you're also seeing these influencers who I totally do not believe in are, painting a fancy picture of living in a cabin and in a van or traveling across the world. It's not a real life, right? They're doing it only because some big companies are paying them obscene amount of money to promote their product, right? And with that kind of noise, it gets really, really hard to focus on real things that will give you purpose and joy as you grow up in your career.
Yeah, these kids nowadays, right? Their parents expect so much out of them, and I always say, if you try to chase two rabbits, you won't catch either. And what I think I mean by that is find your purpose, right? Find what you enjoy, your passion, then just go for it, right? Strive to become the best in that area. So love that you said that, Jyot. So I'm going to have you pick a number 1 through 5, and you won't know the question until you choose that number.
3.
One thing college did not prepare you for.
It's a really good question, Kaden. I think the art of learning is what colleges should be focusing on. Instead of actual subject or topic or course. I think they focus too much on grades and courses. That is not what I feel will help you in the future. I personally believe the art of planning, the art of learning, the art of being curious, right? That is what makes you successful in the future.
Yeah.
Questioning status quo, right? Questioning what is on the horizon, being like growth minded, right? I think what our college system and across the world, right? We believe in more putting everyone in the same bucket and expecting everyone to have an output of a grade with the same way. If they're doing well in school with higher grades, that means they're going to be successful. I don't think that's true, right?
Yeah.
Especially in the world of AI, Caden, I think resilience, right? Adaptability is way more important than anything else.
Right.
Because like you with AI, you have a PhD expert at your fingertips on any topic.
It's crazy.
Right?
And I know you're very familiar with it, right? So what I'm hearing is just learn, right? Better yourself, get the experience, mess around with AI, learn about it because it is the future, right? And, no matter what job industry people are going to be in as they continue to graduate and grow up,
Right.
you're going to use it in some way, right? So,
yeah,
I love
totally.
that.
And also seeking opportunities and obstacles, right? If you see something is frustrating you, right? Maybe learning, calculus is something that you're not enjoying. Maybe use that as an idea to build solutions around it, right? I always call it fall in love with the problem, not the solutions, right? So do this often and do this every day from brushing your teeth all the way to how you open your book and how do you schedule your life and your lunches and like it could be anything, right? Like take small problems and kind of break it down into solutions. But I have
my company motto is 1% better every single day. So I think that ties into what you're talking about there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 1% better. Think about what you can do. It's what I call is compounding interest.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly right.
It goes while you're sitting and sleeping, Yeah, but it's all like 1% better every day. Oh my God. Yeah. Especially starting early.
Yeah, right. Starting early. Now we're going to do a lightning round here. So I'm going to ask you 6 questions. I want you to answer on the spot, short and sweet. Ready?
Yeah.
Your favorite college class?
Physics.
Go-to coffee order?
I don't drink coffee. I only drink tea latte.
Yeah. Best book or podcast recommendation?
All in for podcast. Grit is the book. And I have a very, very good story. If you give me maybe 2 minutes, I can tell you that a very, very inspiring story with Grit.
Yeah.
Or if you want to complete it, then I can come back to the book Grit.
Oh, go right into it.
Okay. So my daughter was 9 years old. Someone, again, your network is your net worth. One of my CEO friend recommended this book to me because he has 2 older daughters. And I read that book and I read that to my daughter and I gave that book to my daughter, right? So this great book was written by Angela Duckworth, who is a professor in University of Pennsylvania. And so think about it. You can plant that seed and the success might come magically. Last month, I attended a class, her class in UPenn, at UPenn, and met Angela Duckworth 10 years later with my daughter in the same class.
Wow.
Right? So you talk about life coming full circle. There's no way I would have imagined her sitting with Angela Duckworth in her class when we read that book, 10 years ago. So
that's awesome.
Magic happens, story happens, and the more you do, the more chances are that will happen.
Yeah, talk about full circle. That's a great story, Joe. And even for yourself, what would you say is a big productivity hack? Your best one.
Say one more time. Okay.
Best productivity hack.
Oh my God. Organization, man. I am not good at it. If you are able to organize your task and your week and set goals, that is the best thing you can do. It sounds very easy. It's very, very hard to do, especially when you have so much going on. You have so much noise around you. How do you spend what I call is thinking time? How do you spend an hour, 30 minutes, right? Plan your week out, plan your day out, and how do you set goals and make sure that you're succeeding in goals? One hack that I do want to talk about, everyone maintains to-do list. I also maintained not to-do list.
Yep.
Right, and it has worked like magic for me because I'm not very organized. Right, I get a lot of kick from not having I said no to this, right? Because you have to learn how to say no in a much more better way where people are not offended or something, right? So saying no is an art, and it takes years and years to develop that art.
Yeah, that's very true. I like the not to do list. Who
Yeah.
would be your dream mentor? He or she could be dead or alive.
Who would be my mentor for me if I have to pick one? Meaning, like who I get inspired by, or
Yeah,
I
if you
get
could have, let's say, a sit down conversation with, who would
yeah.
it be?
Man, I would say that's a good one. I have so many. Um, Obviously, if you look at what Elon Musk and Steve Jobs have done, it's transformational, right?
Yeah,
They've changed the generation. Um, I would say Nikola Tesla would be my guy. Being a physics nerd, I would love to meet with him and see how he thinks about things and how he solves problems. I think it
yeah,
would be fun to talk
that
to
would
him.
be a fun conversation. And every day you've seen a lot of success, right? So what's something that you do that helps you stay grounded?
Surround yourself with great people who keep you honest, right?
Yeah,
And my philosophy is very simple: hire people who are better than you. So listen, Kaden, I think I've always said it's very easy to give an advice to people. It's very, very hard to actually execute it on a daily basis. So when I say I look for people who are better than me, I truly look for people who are better than me, right? Because
yeah,
there's only so much I can do within a business that is a rocket ship, right?
yeah,
I should be able to rinse and repeat. So I look for repeatability. And it could be as simple as hiring a person who knows how to hire better people, right? So
right.
that process is really, really good. Yeah, so that's what I would say. Invest in process, invest in plan.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And what would you say one piece of advice that you have for students who want to become more of a leader?
Um, Listen more, speak less.
And if
Is the
students can remember, sorry, what were you going to say? Sorry.
No, I'm saying just yeah,
Yeah,
because the more you listen, the better other people feel that they've been heard. It's magic. And by the way, I'm still working on that. We all are work in progress. But anytime when I am involved in a tough conversation or a tough negotiation, right? I try to do this more where I am listening and speaking less,
yeah,
and get comfortable with pauses, right? Sometimes there's a pause. Awkward might be the right word to describe it, but that pause is how you are digesting.
yes.
Um, they are feeling that they've been heard, and magic happens after that.
Yeah, you got 2 years and one mouth for a reason, right? So just listen,
Basically.
you learn so much more. And
Yeah.
this was an awesome interview, Joe. What would you say if students can only remember 10 seconds from this interview, what should it be?
Uh, Sorry, Ken, I missed that one. Say one more time.
You good. If students can only remember 10 seconds from this interview, what should
Yeah.
it be?
Oh my God, that will be a tough one. So I would say be curious, focus on adaptability, and do not compare yourself to people online, right?
Yeah.
Like always compare yourself with you,
Mhm.
how you're improving and how you're better. Don't get inspired by people that you see online, because majority of them are not real, right?
Yeah.
So I would say invest in yourself, compete with yourself,
Yeah.
and you will be never compare yourself with your neighbor. You see what I mean? That's
Right.
how
Yeah.
you live a terrible, unhappy life.
Yeah. Reflect on how you were yesterday, right? So,
Correct.
thank you so much for joining us. No, I really appreciate you and your time. And thanks everyone who's watching. If something resonated with you today, share it with a friend or mentor. These conversations are meant to inspire action and change. We'll see you next time on the CEO Speaker Series. Thanks again, Joe.
Pleasure is all mine, Kate, and thank you for having me.
Yes, of course.
All right.